hanging on the line right now. It's time. Gee, I've been talking too much. Tom Rose, Wyoming Liberty Group. You there?
Yes, I am.
There he
Glenn.
is. Bright-tailed and
Yes.
bushy-eyed, ready to go. And ready to get out
Absolutely.
there and thin out the jackalope population because hunting season is coming up.
That is correct.
Yeah.
And I'm real excited about it.
All excited about
Yep.
it. So one of the topics we were
Absolutely.
discussing, you picking up today for this show, is the idea of hiring convicts. I mean, young people who've gotten themselves into a lot of trouble. So let me just ask the question straight out. Are you bat guano crazy?
Definitely there is a conventional thought pattern that somebody advocating this would be bat guano crazy.
Right.
And I would assume, I'm going to beat you to the punch on this because...
Okay. Well, you know where I'm going
assume,
with it. Go ahead, yeah.
I do, but I where I really think you're heading is you are aware that I'm an outfitter and a small business owner.
Yes, you are.
So I'm assuming at a certain point you're going to say to me, so Tom, do you actually practice what you preach here?
There
or
you
is
go.
this
That's
some
what
kind
see,
of a...
this
I
is
knew you
scary.
were going to go there.
You were getting to know me too well. So, okay,
Yes,
then.
sir.
Do
Well,
you have...
it's a good question. It's a very logical question. And I'm sure it would come out of you. And the answer is yes.
Yeah, okay.
I have, at various different times, had a number of convicts working for me.
All right, now.
And they have worked out quite well. And that's one of the reasons why I feel fairly well equipped to actually talk about this subject.
Right, okay. So let's first off talk about the age group that you're talking. I mean, you're not just talking about any thug convict somewhere. Are you dealing with a certain age group?
Not really. I would say probably any of them, except with the caveat that I wouldn't advocate that you go and hire somebody because they are a convict.
Right.
What I would suggest is that you not rule them out as a potential employee because of a conviction.
Okay. Now, if I'm
so
somebody
there is
who's
sort of a difference.
Yeah, if I'm somebody who's looking for an employee and someone comes in with a record like that, so why are you advocating that I consider convicts? What's your agenda?
Well, they do have a couple. First of all, there's a humanitarian aspect,
Right.
which is that this is a part of the greater question, which is at what point can we consider that a convict has paid their debt to society? And I think that a lot of it really rests on the individual, but I think they do deserve a second chance.
Yeah.
And our Wyoming Constitution, Article 1, Section 15, says, "The penal code shall be framed on the humane principles of reformation and prevention." And hiring a convict is a community participation in reformation, and it could actually be perceived as prevention as well. Statistically, one of the greatest causes of recidivism, which would be somebody reoffending, is a lack of a job.
Right. Yeah, they get desperate, in other words.
Yes, they get desperate, but on top of that, it sort of reinforces their perception of disenfranchisement and not being participating in society
Right.
and not belonging, at which point they probably feel like they don't have as much to lose.
Okay, so rather than putting someone in a situation where they'll probably wind up back in a Wyoming prison, which, as far as I'm concerned, prison doesn't tend to reform people. Prisons, to me, it seems like just makes people worse. You're saying that instead give somebody a chance.
Yes, well, the one thing, so somebody who has been incarcerated has been kept to a time schedule, and they're used to getting up and being at certain places at certain times. As an employer, one of your greatest challenges, unfortunately, is to just get people to show up for work.
Oh, tell me about it.
And so you have somebody who is already in a habit of getting places at
Right.
various different times. And then as an added, this is sort of a negative reinforcement, if they're on probation or parole, generally one of the terms is that they have a job. So they have a vested interest in actually keeping the job that you're offering them. And then as another factor, because being incarcerated or being convicted of pretty much anything, you can lose your job, your house, you are disconnected from your family, from society, you are actually giving this person a healthy outlet for their time, which is work.
Now,
Because
are there currently any Wyoming state programs that help connect employers with people or help a person transition into a normal job?
I don't know the answer to that right off the top
Okay.
of my head. I know there are various different places where there are more programs than that, depending
Right.
on the county.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you that in my discussions and research for this conversation with you, I have had contact with the Wyoming Board of Parole, and they are very excited that you and I are talking about this on the radio.
Okay. All right.
And they furnished me a lot of information and spent a lot of time with me just speaking about this.
Well, see, the reason I'm asking about that is I'm thinking, okay, so you're a guy who, if somebody shows up who has a record and they showed up at your place, then there's a chance, I mean, there's a good chance they might get a job. You're not going to hire them because they're a convict, but you're not going to turn them away either. Wouldn't it be
That is correct.
great if they could look at some kind of list of employers, people who are hiring in Wyoming, and there's like a little asterisk or a check mark or something next to them? This person is not going to consider your criminal record.
There are various different places where traditionally the Board of Parole was sort of placing people
Okay.
that they mentioned, but unfortunately a lot of it is the mines up by you.
Right.
I can tell you there are a couple of restaurants in the Cheyenne area, one of which in particular I patronize regularly because it's a steakhouse and it is phenomenally run.
Really?
And
Wait.
the service-
Wait. What steakhouse?
Yes.
What steakhouse?
Rib and Chop.
Okay. I'll have to check that out.
I wasn't sure I should actually say the name, but I guess I will.
No,
anyway,
go ahead.
they
Rib and
hire
Chop. I mean, come
they
on.
hire people with criminal records.
Okay.
And their service is amazing.
Yeah.
Their food is absolutely fantastic, consistent, and on time. It's a phenomenally well-run place.
If you find a good steakhouse or a good hamburger joint in Wyoming or a good cigar place,
I knew I was hitting you where you lived, my friend.
Oh, absolutely. Let's get off the topic real quick for just a moment. If you go to a place, next time you're in Pine Haven, Wyoming, there's a little restaurant. There's not much in Pine Haven called Our Place. Probably one of the better burgers in Wyoming. I'm just saying. Really good.
Where's
okay.
Pine Haven?
Pine Haven, Keyhole Lake,
Okay.
north of
I'll look it up.
Moorcroft. Okay, anyway, next time when you're in town, we got to go there. You just got to see this place. But okay, let's get back to this then. So I'm looking for a pathway for these guys. Someone blew it. They were doing stupid stuff. They got themselves in trouble. They were in jail. They get out. Now, where do they go? So there is some way where they can go searching specifically for employers like you?
Yes. Their probation and parole officers
Yeah.
will generally have a pretty good idea in their community, no matter how small a community or how little funding
Yeah.
they're collecting for this type of thing.
Yeah.
And their probation and parole officers have a vested interest in these guys succeeding.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, or gals. They look better in terms of their caseload if they have people who make it through the system without any recidivism
Right.
and adjust and become normal members of society, because that is what success looks like.
So
I mean,
now, if I were an employer who was interested in, well, I want to help some people out here, and I'd like to get on that list, who would I talk to?
The probation and parole department in York County.
Okay. All right, that's a
the
good place to
office
do that.
should be listed,
Yeah.
and if not, you can. I guess I'll give out the. You could always call the parole board in Cheyenne
Right.
as well.
Yeah.
And how close are we to time? Close.
We got about 2 minutes here.
I would like to close with a quote from the executive director of the Wyoming Board of Parole, whose name is Dan Fetzko, who has been very helpful. He said, "If we are true to the ideals of the Constitution, society cannot abandon individuals who are sent to prison, for most of them will return to our communities and live among us. After paying their debt to society, they deserve a second chance."
Sure. And usually good church and civic-minded people are the
Yes.
kind of people who would go ahead and reach out and try to help somebody. I mean, it's what they promised to do when they joined that church or that civic group.
It is the basis for a lot of our concepts in this country. is that sort of idea
Yeah,
of Christian
yeah.
forgiveness.
Well, I prefer something like that in the real world over any government program. I become completely cynical, well, beyond cynical when it comes to government programs. So I would much rather see people go get a real job around real people with someone like you. So you write about this, and you have other work regarding this and youth that are in trouble. Where do people find your work? How do they read your stuff?
I am on wyliberty.org. So WYLIBERTY.
Okay. Thanks for coming on the program. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for your time, and we're going to have to go get that burger.
Yeah, and let's go jackalope hunting.
Of course.
Yeah.
They don't taste very good, though.
No, they don't? No. Well, I guess it's all in how you boil them, Okay. All right.
Yeah.